Going, everyone? We have Arena Tournament 8 here, so very excited for the new tournament. Looks like we got um, I think Brian just signed on, so we should have 10 players here, and I think we'll hopefully get a few more before the tournament starts. Um, so yeah, I was kind of curious how the turnout would be for this one with school starting. So if we can get 13, 14 players, that'd be pretty awesome. So let's see who else signs up. But it looks like we have some really strong players. So we have Nathan, who's um, I think clearly the player to beat here because I think he's won like the last four tournaments in a row. But then we have Max, who was only 1 point away last tournament, and is definitely going to be a force to reckon with. And then we have Alex, who's also very good in this format. The thing that about Alex style, which is excellent, is he plays very quickly, and also he's a good attacking player. So it's you can get a lot of games in and try to rack up a lot of points in this format. Then we have Brian, who I'm expecting a good tournament from Brian here. I think he's due for a really good tournament. He's too good of a player for the results he's got in the last two tournaments. We have Josiah, who is I'm just waiting for Josiah to really put his focus in the chess. I know he's a man. Josiah's a really intelligent kid, to be perfectly honest. And I know he has a lot of interest in things of that nature. So once he starts focusing on chess a little bit more, if he chooses to do that, of course, I think he's going to improve a ton. He's already a very strong player. Then we have Ray coming in the sixth slot. Ray is playing very good chess. I think Ray is due for a good tournament as well. His play has improved quite a bit. Then in the seventh spot we have Rooney, who already rated 542 is really impressive because I know Rooney hasn't been in chess classes with me for too long, maybe only say I don't know 6 7 weeks perhaps. But yeah, I mean 542 is a really good rating, especially I think he's only like 6 or 7 years old. Then we have George, who's going to definitely bring the heat this tournament. George, a really strong player as well, improving every week. We have Vincent, who also, yeah, everyone's playing great. Vincent's playing really well. We have Daniel as well, who's playing strong. So yeah, let's see what happens. I do hope we get some more players. 10 would be a tad disappointing, but I think we'll have a good tournament even with 10. But I was hoping for 13 or 14. Yeah, it'd be nice to see the girls here, right? We don't have Esther, we don't have Eileen, we don't have Christina, we don't have Elizabeth, we don't have Crystal this tournament. Let me send them a message too, because we gotta try to get some more people this tournament. And then I think we're starting in 8 seconds here, so so I want to go over. I want to look at a different. So we only have 4 games. Why are the other two players not paired? So who did not get paired here? Um, so it looks like George and Daniel didn't get paired this round, which I don't fully understand why. That doesn't really make any sense. So let's look at Ray and Josiah here. So I could turn the evaluation on. Let's keep that off. That's no fun. I think they updated chess.com software. So let's say e4, e5, c4. Okay, c4 is not right. This is a very bizarre decision from Ray here. I think the kids are really getting confused. We play this move c4 when we open with the queen pawn, right? This is the queen pawn because it's the pawn right in front of the queen. So typically we want to push, if we push this pawn, then we push the c pawn. But for some reason, the kids are starting to think when we push the pawn in front of the king, we also push the c pawn, and that's just not accurate. It's a totally different opening. So yeah, the point being why it's not good when you push the pawn in front of your king is because now this bishop can't develop to c4 or b5, which are the most active and natural squares for this bishop. So yeah, I don't think this is a very good setup for white here. And then let me just finish this message to Crystal. Yeah, I'm gonna try to focus more on the games. I think last tournament there was a lot of stuff unrelated to the tournament that I had to focus on. So hopefully this one will just get good analysis of the games. So anyway, yeah, bishop c5 from Josiah, indicating he's going to put some pressure on the f2 pawn. I don't think he's going to go for the 4-move checkmate, but he could. Knight c3. Yeah, knight f6. So I really like Josiah's definitely matured in his play. He was a lot like Jonathan. He would always go for the 4-move checkmate. Now he's not doing that as much. So we have knight f3. Knight c6 and then d3. Yeah, and that's the problem with this kind of setup. So this pawn formation is a tricky pawn formation. You kind of see it in some different openings and from both sides. It's called the triangle pawn formation. So you can also have this from the black side with e5. If the pawns are on e5, d6, and c5, you have the other triangle formation. I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of hard to crack, but it does feel like, I mean, you're giving away the d4 square, which is a negative, and it feels like it's also very hard to get this d4 push in yourself. So I think I've been talking too much and I've been missing a lot of the action. So let's jump to the action. Okay, castle, bishop e2, and you can see just from the opening, the kids are really improving a lot in their opening play. They're getting their pieces out. They're getting their king safe. Yeah. So here we're creating a pin. So I think one of the things we're not doing enough of is we're not really understanding the ideas behind our moves. So here we have bishop g5 creating a pin on this knight. So I think here, like, we're fully justified in just playing knight d5 and attacking the pin piece. So we really need to pay attention to what our previous moves are doing. So the point of bishop g5, create the pin, and now we just have this perfect opportunity to try to play knight d5 here. Oh, white won? Huh? Wow. Okay, that's a very nice win for Ray. Very nice win. So let's see what happens here. So we have bishop g5. Bishop h2 is a little unnecessary, right? Because you can wait for your opponent to push the pawn to h4 and then play bishop h2. But okay, so bishop h2, h4. So the problem is, like, these pawns are advanced, but it's really hard to see how black's ever breaking through here because we have 1, 2, 3 attackers on this g4 square, and there's only one defender. So it's really hard to see how black is ever going to play this g4 move and break through. g3 himself. Interesting move from Ray there. Oh, just hung the knight? Come on, Josiah. Yeah, Josiah is too good for hanging pieces. And even at this stage of the kids' development, I still seeing that the most common reason they're losing is because they're hanging pieces. I think probably what happened is Josiah is just looking for his attack, but you gotta, when you're playing chess, or you gotta play both sides of the board. Like, it's nice to find your own threats and to think, oh, okay, I could just go attack my opponent's king. But your opponent also can create threats at the same time, so you have to be careful about that. And here there was a nice threat from black. They were threatening queen takes g3, exploiting the pin along the g1 a7 diagonal. So when you name the diagonal, you want to name all you want to describe the whole length of the diagonal. So yeah, g1 a7. Take. And then why Josiah resigned here is really bizarre because he could have just played. He had just queen takes g3. Exploiting this pin, and at the very worst, he's gonna have perpetual check. At the absolute worst, he could just always play queen h3, queen g3, queen h3, queen g3 forever. So this was an unfortunate time for Josiah to resign here because at the very least, it's a completely drawn position. So let's look at who else could we look at? Oh, Vincent won his first game, or did he get a forfeit? Either way, very nice start for Vincent. Let's look at. Let's look at Kimmy and Daniel here. So here we have e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, d5. Okay, so d5 is a move that you would like to play, but it's just not possible in this position because there's two attackers, right? We have the pawn and the bishop attacking this pawn on d5, and there's only one defender. So yeah, once again, the most common reason, I know I sound like a broken record, but the most common reason we're losing chess games still is that we're just moving we're just giving away our pieces too easily. So we're at e4, and yeah, I think Kimmy has a pretty nice choice. I think the easiest move is just to take the knight here on c6, and the idea is that if the pawn takes your knight on f3, you play queen takes f3, and then you just have two really strong threats. You're going to be threatening a checkmate on f7. And I know it's kind of hard to visualize. I wish there was like an analysis feature while I'm looking at the games. Let me see if they up. Oh, I can do analysis now. I can just do one move analysis. Oh, it said thanks. Oh, did I give him the move? Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, Kimmy wrote thanks. Okay. Can they see all the analysis I'm giving then? Because that would. Yeah, I didn't. I feel like I gave Kimmy the move there. Why did he say thanks? Oh, okay, that was from earlier. I don't think you saw the move. Oh, it's I'm playing guess the move. Okay, I don't think they could see that then. Okay, no problem. Um, why did Kimmy? Come on. Why did he just? All right. Yeah, I don't know. There's like internet problems, or they just. Yeah, I don't know if Kimmy just got bored and he just left the game, so that's kind of frustrating. But it looks like we have 12 players now. I think Eileen joined the tournament. So let's give Eileen's. Is Eileen playing yet? Yeah, Eileen versus Josiah. Let's go into this. All right, so we have D4, D5, E3. E3 is a bit of a passive move because our dark square bishop is stuck inside the pawn chain, but it's not a terrible setup from white here. Like we could play bishop D3 or bishop E2, either square, and the game has a different flavor depending on where we move our light square bishop. But we have a few options, and we can play knight F3, and we have a very solid setup for black here, or I'm sorry, for white here, I should say. Bishop D3. And one thing I would note, right, since the pawns are on dark squares, our central pawns, that generally means that our light square bishop is our good bishop. So whatever bishop is on the opposite color squares of our central pawns is typically our good bishop because we have these pawns on dark squares. So I don't know if bishop d3 makes a whole lot of sense here. I would think something like maybe even c3 to prevent this knight from jumping to b4 looks reasonable. We also could play bishop e2, and then if our opponent plays knight b4, we could play knight a3 here. And the idea of knight a3 is we need to defend the c2 pawn, because when the knight jumps to b4, there's going to be two attackers on this pawn, the knight and the bishop, and we only have one defender, and it's not it's not the easiest pawn to defend in the world, so we'd have to play knight a3, I believe, to defend the pawn a second time. Okay, bishop g4, castle, e6. And yeah, very nice setup from Josiah. The only problem, once again, is when we move the pawn in front of the queen, we don't really want this knight here blocking our c-pawn, because we would ideally like to have the c-pawn on c5. And once again, very important we learn this, but once again, the reason why this is useful is because if we have the pawn on c5, then we have one, and then the knight also two attackers on this d4 central square. And the goal of the opening is we're trying to attack the central squares as effectively and as many times as possible. So it looks like Josiah snuck in a checkmate there. How in the world did that happen? Yeah. So once again, I can't get the lesson of point the point across to the kids yet. I don't know why. I know it's difficult, but for some reason this idea is not sticking at all. But we should be playing c4. Right? We got to push our c pawn and then play our knight here. That's very important that we get as much pressure on the central squares as possible. So knight c3 there. And then once again, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think we just need more practice. The kids just need to play more games during the week. We go over this in class a lot, but it's not sinking in because basically they're just playing like one day of chess a week, and then after that they don't think about chess for till next class, and sometimes they forget. So here we got to develop our pieces. We got to get our queen developed. Like taking with the pawn is very bad move because it opens up the g file where our king is. And there's no reason to create this weakness for our king. Like our king is perfectly fine here. As long as we take with the queen, we're going to have a very nice position as white. And we shouldn't have a worry in the world here just yet. Maybe like our opponent can come up with ideas later. But for right now, our position is extremely safe. But when we take with the pawn, yeah, now Josiah sees this target. He sees this open diagonal, and he says, let me figure out how to attack. So king h1. So I see that Eileen's trying to get her king off of the g file. Because she doesn't like that her king's on an open file. So I like the idea. And like here, right, we have two attackers on the d4 square and or I'm sorry, there's two attackers, right, the knight and the pawn, and only one defender. So yeah, I think we should do something about this. Although I guess we maybe have some checks. Not here because after pawn takes, knight takes, the knight's going to guard the b5 square, so we don't have any cool discovery checks with the bishop, so that's not going to work here. So rook g1. Yeah, here comes the pain, and all of this is due because we just ruined our pawn structure in front of our king. So when you look at the pawns like this, this is pretty solid. The most solid is if this pawn here hadn't moved. If this pawn was back on h2, this would be the most solid because then we haven't created any weaknesses in front of our king at all. But this is usually a very minor weakness, and a lot of the kids and strong players play these moves to create an escape square for their king. So this move h3 is not such a huge deal, but taking with the g pawn here is a huge deal. We want to take with the queen here. Yeah, that's just something we have to do. All right, so let's look at a game between whose game do we want to look? Let's look at Vincent and Ray here. So let's go from the beginning. So it looks like Vincent has the white pieces. Okay, F5. So it looks like we're playing a Dutch defense, moving the same piece twice in the opening. It's typically we don't want to move the same piece in the opening twice, but while we haven't developed any of our other minor pieces, we haven't gotten our king safe. But 95 is not such a big deal because this is a really strong knight here. Notice with the pawns here that neither of these pawns can attack the e5 square anymore. So this knight actually looks pretty good here. F4. Yeah, just too symmetrical. I think just basically whatever your opponent does, I'm going to do the same thing. Isn't really chess. It's like when you're playing chess, you got to use your own mind. So I don't know. I don't really like that Vincent just kind of copied Ray's setup here. Although I don't know, maybe it's an interesting strategy because you have the white pieces, so you feel like if your opponent wants a symmetrical position, it should be better for white since white has the advantage of the first move. Yeah, but I mean, it just looks like Vincent's just completely copying, and yeah, I don't like this habit. If you're gonna be a chess player, you got to think for yourself. You got to come up with your own ideas, not just copy what your opponent's doing. Yeah, so now we see this position. It's completely symmetrical, except black already has their bishop on d6, and also it's black's turn here. So we could say this opening went wrong for white, and the reason for that is because Vincent moved his knight 3 times, and we know that's a bad strategy, right? We haven't developed any of our other minor pieces, and we're just moving the knight over and over again. And we know we don't want to move the same piece twice in the opening. Now we've moved the knight 3 times, which is even worse, and we haven't developed any of our other pieces. So castle, very nice development from Ray. And I like that Ray's playing the Dutch. It's cool that he's experimenting with different openings. Bishop there. Yeah, so bishop there doesn't really do much. It just allows Ray to play c6 and pick up a tempo on the bishop. So, yeah, white's opening play here has not been, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a kind way to say it, but it could be better than this. And that's the problem with the Dutch. Even for me, like you know, fairly strong chess player, I don't. It's not obvious like how black is gonna improve their position. I assume the right strategy is to put this knight on e4 and then move the other knight to f6. And one of the other main ideas in the Dutch is usually play something like queen e8 with the idea of either queen g6 or queen h5 is one of the main attacking ideas in the Dutch defense. But I don't have really any experience playing this from the black side. And I'm not really a d4 player from the white side either, so I don't have too much experience playing this from the white side. But I feel like this knight is very misplaced over here because I don't know exactly where it's going. The point of the Dutch is to sort of launch a kingside attack, I believe, at some point. And this knight is moving away from your opponent's king, so it doesn't seem like that would benefit you very much. Okay, that move I like, jumping the knight to the center. And then the point being that if the knight takes knight, one of the pawns going to take, and it's going to fork the knight and the bishop here. So let's see if Vincent goes for that. Okay, took with the bishop. That's very good move from Vincent there. Okay, and then he hops the knight back to e5. So after a little bit of criticism of Vincent's earlier play, now I'm very happy with his last few sequence of moves. He did a very good job to avoid this fork once again. So once again, if you take with the knight here, after one of the pawn takes, the pawn's going to be forking the knight and the bishop. So Vincent did a great job avoiding that. This move just seems unnecessary, right? Like even though there's 2 attackers, we have 2 defenders, and we have the best defenders we could have because these are low-valued pieces. So we're not really worried about our opponent taking our pawn if we're gonna win like a bishop or a rook in exchange for that. So yeah, moving the knight again, I don't agree with. I think we should just try to play something like bishop d2 and kind of come up with a plan as it comes. So yeah, knight g4, I don't fully understand. c5. Okay, I like c5 from Ray, trying to chip away at this strong pawn center that white has here. So that move makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if I agree with this capture here from Vincent because we want to kind of keep the tension in chess. So by taking all, oops, yeah, very nice. Ray is playing very good chess. So let's go back. So I gotta give Ray tons of kudos. His improvement has just been coming so rapidly, and it looks like he came up with some really nice plans here. So let's Okay, so take here. And this is a nice idea from Vincent to put the knight on d4. And here I almost feel like we should take with the queen, although I'm not 100% sure. This actually is a kind of a tough decision. The reason the drawback of taking with the pawn, like happened in the game, is now this e pawn is a pass pawn. But I don't know. Like if we put the knight on, let's say e3, for example, knights are very good blockaders because the knights could just jump over the pawn and jump back if they need to. So maybe putting the knight on e3, or maybe even putting the knight back on e5 and just saying that this pass pawn isn't actually going to go anywhere. Because sometimes you can allow pass pawns in chess, and just because your opponent has a pass pawn doesn't mean they're winning. But this pass pawn does feel very strong to me because it's protected pass pawn. So I don't know. The thing that I would say about Black's position is their bishop is very bad because all these pawns are on light squares. So if we could kind of restrict this bishop from getting active, we might be good here as white. But I don't know if we can because this bishop b5 move looks like it's coming in a hurry. c4. And I think here this was a good opportunity to try to restrict this light square bishop by playing b3 and then a4. And I think if white would have found this idea, this bishop might just be a bad bishop for the rest of the game. And yeah, here I think we want to take towards the center, and we want to initiate a trade of rooks. That's not a big deal for white. And also we get this bishop onto maybe a better diagonal. So if we take with this pawn, we might be able to put this bishop on this f4 square and put some pressure on this knight. Or I'm sorry, the knight's going to get captured anyway. But anyway, I think we want to get this bishop more squares to move to, and this pawn is in the way. Yeah, very nice move from Ray, getting his piece activated. Yeah, this is nice. Very nice move from Ray. This is a really nice attacking. Yeah, so now we have e2. Wow, beautiful, beautiful play by Ray. Yeah, this is showing a very big leap in Ray's chess understanding. So I'm extremely happy to see this. Yeah, and he even realized that he could take the queen first with a check, so he wasn't worried about the fact that his queen was under attack. All very good things here. That move was a bit ambitious because we are hanging the queen, but I think it's also fine. Yeah, because we are just up a rook here. And probably here moving this rook to f2 looked very good. But yeah, I mean, I think everything that Ray played here was fine. This move I don't really care for. If we're gonna move this rook and try to pick up a pawn, we should probably move it to c2 because this pawn is protected. This pawn is not protected, so we want to go after the pawn that's not protected, of course. Yeah, and once again, right, 2 rooks on the second rank. This is something we should talk about more in class because maybe this isn't quite sinking in. But having 2 rooks on the second rank here would be a very strong idea for black here. And basically, white would just be kind of tied up for the rest of the game. Yeah, very nice job by Ray, right? He's up material, so trading off the pieces makes a lot of sense. Wow, now he's starting a checkmate. So this was a little bit of danger for Ray here because there's no reason to put your king here in the... Remember that when you're the attacking side, having your opponent's king on the edge of the board is your friend. So when you're the defending side, it's the exact opposite. Having your king on the edge of the board is a very bad thing. So in this position, like just to be safe, just move the king to f7. Even f6, you should be fine. But if you want to be like as safe as possible, just put the king on f7 and the attack is basically over. So in this position, like if Ray got lazy and just pushed one of these pawns, this move g5 is going to be a checkmate. So I assume Ray played rook h2 check here. G6. Okay, G6 also works just fine, giving an escape square for the king. I guess we could have just played G5 ourselves here, and given white the opportunity to capture en passant would have been fine. Yeah. So now it's game over. Yeah, very nicely done by Ray. That was one of the best games I've seen Ray play. That was excellent. So what should we see next? What's going on with the standings here? We have Ray in first place. Did Nathan lose a game already? Josiah's really understanding the strategy. Play fast. So how many people? We have 12 people. Okay, George is coming later, so it looks like Sean got a not Sean. Rooney got a bye this round. Daniel doesn't have a game. Josiah. So these guys should get paired here, I would think. So let's look at this game between Rooney. We'll just look at this briefly. So I don't. Yeah, I really don't want to. This is really like this is exactly the opposite of how I was teaching the kids to play chess. This is just like way too many pawn moves. This is really not what we want. We want to get our pieces developed quickly, right? Rapid development. That's why I show you guys all those Paul Morphy games, because Paul Morphy always got these pieces, right? These pieces on the back row that haven't moved. He always gets these pieces into the game as quickly as he can. And that's what we want to try to do, right? We don't want to spend 4 moves just moving our pawns. Like these are squares for our, like especially the F3 square, that's where our knight belongs. Depending on the opening, like C3, this could be where our other knight belongs. So yeah, it's kind of a very passive setup. Yeah, see, like now it's really hard to like, and what I should say is while Rooney's kind of developing his pieces in a strange way, Daniel's developing his pieces perfectly. This is perfect development. So we have the pawn, we have the classical pawn center, right? These pawns are attacking these 4 squares, and then we have our knights and bishops on very good squares as well. So knight a5 I didn't like, right? We don't want to move the same piece in the opening. Plus knight a5 would just walk into b4, forking the knight and the bishop here. So yeah, knight a5 was not ideal. I almost want to open the position up by playing something like d4, but I'm not sure. Because if d4, maybe like e4, I'm not really sure. Maybe we could build up the attack more by playing something like rook e8. But at some point, it feels like we should try to open the position up. Also, we have ideas of queen d7, trying to put an additional attacker on this knight here. Also, we could even just consider bishop takes knight here, trying to expose the white king a tad. But I'm not a huge fan of bishop takes knight. I think we have enough resources as white here, and I kind of feel like this is a move that white wants black to play, because now white has the bishop pair, and even though once again the white king would be exposed, I think it's not like super easy to attack this king. So I'm not so sure. So somehow Rooney managed to win 2 pieces out of this, which is pretty nice job from Rooney. This was a really nice swindle. So yeah, looks like Rooney's just up a piece now, which is good. So I didn't really want to look at this game before, but now I kind of do. So yeah, here there was a pin, right? I guess it's not technically a pin. So here, what I should say is that after the black pawn took, we just have to notice that our queen is not protected. So instead of just automatically capturing back, we should capture our opponent's queen. If we do want to capture this pawn, we could have played knight takes c4. This way, we're capturing the pawn. We attack our opponent's queen, and then we also protect our own queen at the same time. So that would have been a logical idea here. But just giving away the queen. So yeah, now Daniel should be firmly in control here. Yeah, now Daniel's just feasting away. And then also this rook is unprotected. I'm not sure if Daniel saw that. Yeah, I don't think he saw that yet. But yeah, bishop takes rook is perfectly fine. And remember, the rooks, queens, and bishops are long-range pieces, which means they could move the whole length of the chessboard. So even if it seems like the bishop is far away from the rook, which it is, it doesn't matter, because the bishop can move as far as it wants until it runs into something. So here it's going to run into your opponent's rook, which is a great piece to get for free. Yeah, nice job by Daniel bringing another piece into the attack. And then also, you want rooks on open files, because they control all the squares on the file then. Yeah, very nice job from Daniel here. This is very good. Very good chess. And then we have a checkmate in 1 here with queen a2. But it looks like Daniel missed it, which is okay. The reason why this is a checkmate is because this pawn is taking away a very important escape square from the white king. So yeah, queen a2 would have been a checkmate. C5. Okay. And then yeah, for some reason, yeah, this was a free rook. Yeah, this move I didn't understand. So now we give away our queen. I think we still need to work on checkmate. So Yeah, I can't imagine Daniel's not going to win this game still, but it seems like we have a lot of work to do on this concept. So this might be an example I show the kids in class because yeah, this is definitely important. Let's just stick with this game. I know the game should theoretically be over. That's a very nice move. So very nice move. Now we're controlling all the squares on the B file. So I like this move from Rooney a lot. This next move I don't really care about that much. So yeah, we gotta just, so we should take with a rook. If it wasn't for these pawns, we would be in real danger of a stalemate. And actually the other rook would have been a checkmate. So yeah, we gotta work on this. We got the king on the edge of the board, so we want to control both the A file and the B file, and we have to figure out the right way to do that. So this rook is really good at controlling the B file because this rook isn't really controlling all the squares on the B file that the opponent's king can move to. So we should have moved this rook to A1 with a checkmate again. It looks like we had a couple chances for Daniel to give a checkmate on the A file, but that's okay. All right, so let's see if Daniel could checkmate here. So this should be pretty easy. So we just have to go, yeah. So once again, the king is on the edge of the board. The king on the edge of the board is our friend. So all we need to play here is rook A7, and there's tons of ways to checkmate here, but rook A7 followed by queen B7, and then queen D7 would be a checkmate. So yeah, there's no defense against that. Yeah, so we just have to keep working on this because for me, I always feel like, well, maybe it's too easy for the kids, but I'm starting to realize there's really nothing that's too easy for the kids now. So even if I think it's super easy, like everything's easy if you know how to do it, but if you don't know how to do it still, then it's not so easy. And I'm getting like a tad bit scared that we're gonna have a stalemate here, but I really hope not. I want to see Daniel convert this position. I do like the way Daniel's using his pieces together here, so hopefully we'll see queen takes pawn check here. And then we should be seeing a mate shortly with, no. Okay. Okay, we have a mate in one here. Can we spot this idea? Okay, good. Very nicely done. So good game from Daniel. I know it was a little tough on him at times, but I thought he played a good game. I want to look at one of Brian's games, but all right, let's look at one of Brian's games against Ray. So you have Sicilian defense, and yeah, once again, Ray's going for this, which actually this isn't like the worst setup against the Sicilian defense because it's called the Maroczy bind, but this isn't typically the right move order for this opening for White. The main idea for Black here is to play Knight C6 and then G6 followed by Bishop G7, and then just have a complete domination of the D4 central square for the rest of the game. Okay, there F4. Seems like dance class is taking away a lot of our students from the chess tournament, which is okay. I know there's a lot of different things that kids could be doing, so nothing wrong with that. So Knight D4. So yeah, I really like Ray's position. So what went wrong? Yeah, I like Ray's position a ton here. So I'm curious what happened. All right, there is a pin there. That pin is a bit annoying. The problem is there's no real way for Black to attack this pin piece again. So I think we'd be perfectly happy with just Queen C3 and then move the king to H1 next turn and get out of the pin. But I feel like maybe Ray. Okay, so he found the first idea. Wow, he found both the ideas. Yeah, Ray has made a quantum leap in chess understanding. D5. C takes D5. And here I'd be even tempted to take this bishop first. But I think this is also fine. And now there's a really nice idea. We could have played rook takes f6 because we're trying to remove the defender of this bishop. So if Ray would have found rook takes f6 followed by bishop takes g4, he would have been much better here. And after rook takes f6, if the bishop takes our bishop, that would be a huge mistake from Black. So what happened here? Because it looks like, ooh, rook b1 was a nice deflection idea. So very nice deflection from Brian. The point being that after rook takes rook, we have queen takes g2 checkmate. So Beautiful, beautiful move from Brian. But let's go back earlier because I want to see, because it looks to me like Ray is just much much better around here. And yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to go over with Ray in class today. Yeah, so that just hangs the knight. So that was one of the things I was worried about. I was worried about this knight hanging. So in this position, I think Ray had to play knight takes bishop because this way there's no attack against the knight anymore. Yeah, here I just played the other rook to f1. I think that would have been better. So like even in this position, right? It looks like we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 pawns for. So we have 6 pawns versus 3 pawns. So we're up 3 pawns as white, and we're down a knight. So this is both. 3 pawns is worth 3 points, of course, and then the knight's worth 3 points. So yeah, I think we're still even material here as white. Yeah, that move just loses the game though because we have a back rank issue. So remember, anytime your king can't move forward, you always want to be worried about your back rank. And then if your opponent's king can't move forward, then you want to be looking for back rank checkmates yourself. No. So here we just take. Come on. Here we just take. Right. We have 1, 2 attackers versus 1 defender. So we just have a very very straightforward back rank checkmate here. Oh, so I thought he found a brilliant deflection sacrifice here, Brian, but it looks like he just took the rook. I am curious if he spotted that after rook takes, there would be this this move here. Anyway, that was a okay. The opening was great from Ray. Then Brian kind of took control of the middle game. So I think all in all, it was pretty good. What's going on with Josiah? 18 points. Woo! Commanding lead. Commanding lead for Josiah. So let's look at one of Josiah's games because we haven't looked at any of his games yet. And it looks like George is joining the tournament or is playing in the tournament now. So I'll be sure to get to one of George's games soon. But let's look at the tournament leader here. So what happens? So we have e4, e5, bishop c4, knight g5. Yeah, that just hangs a piece. So we're so eager to attack. I think it's like basically all the kids in chess history are the same. Everyone wants to attack immediately. This isn't at all unique to our students or anyone. Everyone, when you learn chess, just wants to attack. There's an old chess saying from Lasker. I don't remember the exact quotes, but something like when you're a kid, you like these like very quick kind of action-packed novels. But when you get older, you like sort of more dramas, more like psychological, more subtle kind of stories. And he was using that as like an analogy for chess. Like when you're a kid, you just want to attack immediately. You want so much action. And when you get older, you're much more interested in just like slowly building your position. If your opponent makes a big mistake, don't get me wrong. Everyone loves to attack, even us older people. But you start to appreciate more just the subtleties of building up your position. Yeah, very nice job from Josiah taking advantage of the pin. And it feels like Josiah, after that first game, is very sharp. So once again, though, I want to talk to Josiah about this a bunch during class. He missed this pin 2 occasions because here he has a forced mate in 2 moves, just queen takes g3 and queen g2. And one of the reasons I'm very excited to talk to Josiah about this is because Josiah is a very, very good tactical player. And I know when I show him both this game and then the first round against Ray that he lost, once I show him this idea, he's never going to miss it again for the rest of his life. And that's going to be at least like 100, 150 rating point improvement in his game. Yeah, once again, we still had queen here, and we could have taken here. So it's really important, right? Like Josiah obviously like has the better position. He's up a piece now. He's up a full rook, but you just want to end the game, right? Like when you have the chance. So once again, even as old people, we like to build up the advantage. But when the advantage is there and the iron is hot, to use a common expression, you gotta strike when the iron is hot. You don't want to give your opponent a chance to come back into the game. Yeah, like if I look at this position, like, I mean, of course Josiah should win, but yeah, I mean things could go wrong still. Yeah, see now this knight on d6 is getting active. It's putting some pressure on the rook. It's not a problem, but it's just the game shouldn't have gotten to this point is all. Yeah, see, now also just his knight's getting tricky, and like Josiah could be panicking a bit, like, oh, I had this great position. I mean, I still feel like he's completely in control of this game. Don't get me wrong. Like knight e5 is coming next move, attacking the pin piece, and this is going to be very very difficult for White to deal with. Also another idea, probably even better than knight g6, is we could have just played rook to d3 here, and I think this is the most straightforward way to win the position. Yeah, very good job attacking the pin piece. So even here after b4, I think Josiah might have been able to just ignore the attack and play knight e5 here anyway. But the way Josiah did it is fine. Actually, I can't. I mean, the way Josiah played this is perfectly fine. Yeah. So here this game should be coming to an end here shortly. Yeah, I don't understand what that move accomplishes. I don't want to put Alex's brother on blast in this video, but his brother is known for not resigning, and he's very proud of this fact. That's the only reason I feel comfortable saying this, because if he like felt bad about it, I wouldn't mention it. But he's so proud of the fact that he doesn't like to resign. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up in the video. So usually when you're like in a lost position, you're supposed to resign, but it's always your choice as a player if you want to resign or not, of course. So it's totally your decision. So g5. Yeah, and any piece trades is going to be very good for Josiah here, because he's up a rook and a bishop here. His bishop's attacking the rook on a1. So here we have we have that move. We also had, okay, that's even better. I was going to say we had rook d2, but yeah, Josiah found an even better move here. Queen h2 mate. Very nice game from Josiah. Yeah, Josiah's a talented kid. Once again, I don't know how seriously he's going to take chess in the future, but I think the talent is there to be a really strong player. So who do we want to look at? Yeah, I said I was going to look at one of George's games. So let's go. So we got George versus. I didn't want to look at Alex's game twice. Not anything against Alex. Just I do want to look at different kids' games, but we haven't looked at any of George's games. So let's get started with that. So yeah, looks like Alex is going for the 4-move checkmate. He could be a little steamed from his last game that didn't go his way. So yeah, so we got a few games to go over. Hopefully, I'll remember this for Ray and Alex's class today, because there was a lot of interesting positions to go over. Yeah, I think we're just getting too aggressive. So hey, Jonathan. Yeah, oh, cool. Yeah, awesome. We don't need to talk on the phone during the tournament if you didn't want to. But if you need any help like logging into the tournament, I could of course help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just making a video about the. Okay, so Jonathan did it. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna tell Jonathan we're making a video about the tournament. So what's going on here? This looks like a pretty interesting position. So it looks like George has two pieces under attack, the bishop and the knight. And I was kind of distracted, so I missed what happened. So I kind of want to go back here. Yeah, and we always have to be careful of this in chess. Like when we have one of our pieces under attack and we make another threat, this is definitely something we have to be really careful about doing. So, and one of the problems, so one of the main problems with d5, and this is kind of a hard thing to explain in a brief amount of time, but one of the main problems about d5 is it makes this knight called overworked. So the knight's protecting the d5 square, which is one of the reasons why George thought he could play d5. But the knight's also protecting this bishop. So this knight has two responsibilities, and it can't really accomplish both of the responsibilities, unfortunately. So I think d5 was probably a mistake. What we should be playing, I don't know exactly what we should be playing. My first instinct is maybe we should play something like queen d7 to protect the bishop. Or maybe, okay, maybe we should just be playing h6 here. So let me, Yeah, let me make sure I'm explaining this concept right. So I think just h6 here would be fine. Hi, Susan. Hello. So yeah, I think just h6 here, attacking the knight would have been the best course of action. Um, because yeah, we gotta kind of get this knight moving, and then we can consider bringing even the bishop back to e6 or something. Or once again, queen d7 looks very very reasonable to me. So I think we want to kick this knight away as quickly as possible. So d5. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Once again, we're in this bad position where we have these two pieces under attack. Um, so why Alex didn't take the bishop on g4, I don't fully understand. That would have been a better piece to capture this pawn. So yeah, I don't fully understand queen takes here. I wonder if Susan was contacting me about how to join the tournament, but it looks like Elizabeth and Susan aren't online yet. Um, so yeah, I don't know what if Susan was calling about joining the tournament or not. So queen g3 right there. Yeah, we're just giving our pieces away. So um, yeah, this wasn't George's best effort, but it's just his first game. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get warmed up. I know George will play better games in this in the future. B3, I don't fully get. Like I think just knight c3 is just get a piece developed. Seems. Hello.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Susan.
Yeah. Do you know Crystal and Christina's password for their cash tournament?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have any information about their chess.com password. That's just whatever the kids set their password. That's what it'll be.
Uh-huh.
So I think
Yeah.
they could do a password. They could send like a new password to their email account. But I
Okay. Okay. Maybe Bruce said Christina's account using his email, not your email. Is that right?
yeah, it's just whatever their username is, and then the password they set.
Got you. Uh-huh. Okay. Got you. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Bye-bye.
Susan. Yeah, bye, no problem.
They're logging in. Okay.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. So yeah, so here we have b3 with the idea of moving the bishop to b2 here, which is also an okay plan. Oh, so now now George is fighting back. He's trying to create a checkmate of his own. So he has two attackers on h2, and yeah, he's creating threats. So as long as you keep finding ideas, you never know what can happen in a chess game. That idea is a bit ambitious, though. Yeah, now we're just giving away all of our pieces, and yeah, here I think Alex should just take with the queen and try to simplify. Taking with the pawn also is fine. Yeah, I don't know why we should be right. We should be trading pieces here because we're up so much material. So it's kind of like any other sport. Just think about basketball. Like if you've had like 5 players versus 4 players, that's a huge advantage. But if you have 2 players versus 1 player, that's an even bigger advantage. And then if you had 1 player versus 0 players, that's the best advantage. That's the best advantage that you can get. Because it's basically like 1 against 0. How can you ever lose unless you start shooting in your own basket for some reason? And then we have an option of en passant here just to highlight that. Still not sure if all the kids are really recognizing en passant when the possibility arises in their games. But here we have an example, right? The pawn moved 2 squares. The black pawn and the white pawn are right next to each other, so we could just capture en passant on the next turn. Yeah, very nice job from Alex pushing the pawn. We also could have taken the rook last turn if we wanted to, so bishop takes rook was also an idea. The thing I like about George, he seems like a very patient player to me. I feel like he really uses his time. He thinks when it's his turn. That move I don't really get because I guess we're going after this pawn. Okay, so that I take back my earlier comment. This move does make a lot of sense to me now. So yeah, I think here just rook e1 with the idea of rook e8 looks good. So probably rook d8's coming. Then we play the other rook to d1, and then we basically have all the time in the world to play something like bishop c3 in here. Yeah, this is going to be no bueno for George here. So yeah, I mean, there's so many winning moves here. I think the easiest is just rook here and then bishop here to here, and I don't see how black is doing anything at all here. Because I feel like there should be a mate here, so I'm just trying to think if there's anything even more aesthetically pleasing to the eye here than this. Oh, okay. The probably okay. So I think probably the best move for white here is to play bishop to b5, protecting the pawn. But then we also have the X-ray idea to the e8 square. So after bishop b5, we could just play rook e8 check, the following move, and that would be game over. But this is also going to work out quite well. Like we could even play bishop here check, and then followed by rook e8, and that's going to be winning. Bishop a3 is maybe even better than what I suggested of bishop c3 to a5. Yeah, bishop a3 looks very good. So yeah, George is going to go for a stalemate, which is a good try, but I don't think it's going to work here. And then yeah, rook e8 should just be very, very nice way to conclude the game. Rook e7 also should work fine. I mean, I think rook e8 is the easiest. I guess we have rook f7 check here. Which should, yeah, okay, rook e8. And the mate should be coming soon. So the move I was gonna say the move I didn't want to see Alex play was just king takes pawn, because I wanted to see him just go for the checkmate right away. It doesn't ruin anything. It's a perfectly fine move to play, but I was hoping for something else. But this should also be fine. So now we have bishop e3 followed. Okay, now we have bishop e3, but we had bishop e3 last time, which is just clearly winning. Bishop e3 check, and then we had rook h8 giving mate the following move. Yeah, so now it just feels like there's gonna be and the fact that we need to go for another queen here is like we don't need to do that. So yeah, basically now there's a chance for a stalemate. So I feel like if we get a stalemate here, then this will be an interesting lesson to learn for Alex here, because there's really no reason to stalemate. There's really no reason to go into this position at all. I mean, just you have the two bishops, Yeah, I would never resign here if I was George. I would definitely see if my opponent would stalemate. So I definitely want to resign there. Let's go on Kimmy, 0 points. All right, let's look at one of Max's games against Vincent. So I haven't really looked at either of their games. So we have e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, and then castle. So a really good opening play from both sides here. If Max would have gone for knight g5 here, we could have had a fried liver attack. So I'm curious if Vincent would have known what to do against knight g5. But I think castle is probably the slightly more accurate move. Yeah, and I like the way Vincent has played this as well. So it looks like we're up to 13 players, which is good. Okay, now knight g5. So now he's supposed to go. Now d5 is the move. So maybe d6 was a mistake. I think we're supposed to play bishop to c5 or bishop to e7. And the reason for this is that we always want to be able to answer knight g5 by just castling. So we like to have the possibility of castling whenever our opponent plays knight g5. So after d6, yeah. So now we're just giving away a pawn, and yeah, this knight is a really annoying piece. So yeah, I wouldn't be really happy with my position as black here. Knight e7. All right, knight g5. I wasn't really thinking about that move. I was thinking he's going to take. I don't know. I'm starting to get more optimistic about black's position. I don't think black is better. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they survived the worst of it. So I give a lot of credit for Vincent for figuring this setup out. I think we should just play d5 here as black now, And yeah, let's see what happens. H6 also looks like a reasonable move. So now I think D5, like we gotta try to make this like a crazy type position because we're down a pawn still. Maybe even a move like G5 looks like fun. No, knight there. I mean, knight there just looks like an opportunity to trade some pieces off. Like we wanna launch an attack here. Yeah, it's too much moving the same piece in the opening. That's something we really got to work on. Like basically, Vincent moved the knight 3 times here, and all he really accomplished was he allowed White to develop their queen. So we really didn't accomplish anything by these 3 moves. Like yeah, like let's go back. If we would have just played G5 here right away, now we're starting to like now we're in business as Black because now we're thinking of like B4, not B4, G4. Ideas like G4, H5, H4, and then it's like probably like the attack maybe isn't like objectively maybe the best attack in the world, but it's going to be something that's hard for White to deal with. So like G5 to me just strikes me as like if we want to complicate the game like G5, then we also have ideas of maybe like Knight H5 and Knight F4 in the future. There's a ton of ideas for Black after a move like G5. But by trading off by trading off one of your knights and improving your opponent's queen, now moves like G5 aren't going to do very much because there's like no threat at all. Like Queen F5 is always like a good defensive resource for White. Because notice that Black doesn't have the light square bishop anymore, so a move like Queen F5 controlling these light squares is going to be very, very good. All right, Christina wants to play. Okay, I can't turn down a game from one of my students. So let's see what happens here. Is Christina turning down a game from me now? Okay, we got a game here. So we got E4. Let's go C5 here. So place a sling defense, and then let's see what Christina brings to this opening here. Okay, so this move, right? This is where the knight wants to go. So the knight would like to. I can't make any drawings in my own game, but the knight would like to go to the F3 square. So this move doesn't really make a ton of sense, to be perfectly honest. But the benefit is there's a surprise factor. It's like, what exactly am I going to play? I feel like I can get away with D5 right away, but I want to keep this move in reserve. So let's play Knight C6 first. Eventually, I think I'm going to play D5, but I want to play Knight F3 and D5. So notice that Christina hasn't really been developing any pieces so far, and I already have 2 pieces developed as Black. So when you have so this is a good move, right, from Christina. We're getting a piece developed. So I want to go. E6, and the point behind E6 is that I can get my bishop onto E7, and I don't have to worry about E5 because this knight on C6 is controlling that square, so I can get away with E6, I believe. And if Christina decides to take here, that would be a move that would not be very good. Yeah, so this would be a nice move for White if my knight wasn't controlling the square, but unfortunately for Christina, it is. Yeah, once again, the benefit of this opening is it's just my pieces are like it's kind of a weird opening. It's pretty unorthodox, so I'm definitely out of theory here, which is and theory is just like moves that you've seen before, sometimes in chess many times. So the reason I brought my knight to G6 is I want to attack the H4 square. So I'm going to play H6 next move, and then I think that would pretty much force Christina to play bishop takes knight. And when my queen gets here, I'm going to be attacking the B2 square and potentially trying to win this rook. And then also after queen takes here, I'd be attacking this pawn as well as 2 times. So yeah, I think that this should be very, very strong for me. Yeah, so once again, the point of the knight here was so I could take this bishop here, and Christina kind of fell into my mini. I don't know if it's a trap, but she fell into my idea there. So let's go knight here. And the idea of knight here is I can put the knight on E3, I can put the knight on D4. So I have a lot of good options here. Knight E3 attacking the queen, though, after queen D2, I don't really see where the knight's going. Like if I play knight G2 check, king F1, or king F2, probably king F1, and my knight is trapped here. So, okay, so she abandoned the game. All right, good game, Christina. All right, let's get back to the tournament. So it looks like Max beat Grumpy Fog. So what happened? So we did get D5 eventually, which is I'm happy to see. Okay, so everything looks pretty good for Vincent still. No, there's a pin. There's a pin. We gotta see the pin. So I would have liked to have seen Rook F8 here, attacking our opponent's queen, picking up a tempo. Um, even at like Knight F4 here looks like a really strong idea to me. Like just, I don't know, this knight looks like an active piece. Like we're always trying to put like the knight onto D3 if we can deflect the queen away from the D3 square. So it looks like there's a lot of things to be happy about here. Yeah, how come we're down to only 8 people playing? Okay, so we got a new game. So it looks like it's a 2-man race between Nathan and Josiah. 2-person race. Oh well, Brian's on a 5-game winning streak. So someone beat Josiah last game. I don't know if it was Nathan or Brian. I'm happy to see Brian have a good tournament. I feel like he's been due, and he's too good of a player to not be in one of the top spots. I got pretty high hopes for Brian. I think something's gonna click in Brian's chess understanding very very soon, and he's gonna start taking off. All right, so what game? So we got 31 minutes left, and we got a good competition. So I feel like this game between Nathan and Max is going to be a very important one. So let's give this a look just for that reason alone. So we have C4, D6. Yeah, D6 is a kind of a funny move against the English. I guess he's going for a King's Indian defense potentially. Yeah, it looks like he's going straight for King's Indian defense. And I guess that's a mouse slip by Max. I assume he wanted a castle, so yeah, King F8 isn't the right idea here. Yeah, I assume it's a mouse slip. But I'm getting impressed with how much theory the kids know. I don't know. I don't really think this is the right way to learn chess. Like some of the kids ask me like, why don't we spend like more and more time at openings? And my answer to that is always because we've got a lot of tactical things to learn still. Study opening ideas when you don't know, like, when you're not always spying remove the defender, you're not always spying these deflection ideas. Just jumping into opening theory, I don't think is the best way to learn chess. From most of the things I've read, you shouldn't really focus on openings that much until you're at least like 1800 rated. But I don't know. I mean, I'm getting such a response from the kids to learn openings that I'm gonna have to agree to that because I feel like I should meet the kids at where their chess interest lies, not where I always, it should be a give and take. It shouldn't always be like I'm just going to teach them only what I want them to learn, even if they're more interested in other things. I have to meet them at their interests. I think that's only fair for their chess development. So yeah, we will be going over more opening stuff here. Just and that's only for the kids that are asking for it. A lot of kids haven't mentioned that at all. So for them, we're going to keep working on tactics more. Okay. So I think why can't we just take the pawn and then take on d6? So I feel like Nathan missed a good chance here. And he made this next move in 2.8 seconds. So I mean, obviously Nathan's having good results. So it's hard to say like, hey, can you try this or try that? But I think he really needs to start taking his time more, Nathan, because this is just a free juicy pawn here, right? If we take this pawn, we take on d6, give a check. And if the king moves to g8, we have a pin on this knight here. So then we'd have knight takes e5, and basically black's position is falling apart. And then another idea is like if we take pawn takes, queen takes. If Max blocks with his queen with queen e7, we could just trade the queens off and then take here. And I believe we get a second pawn. Although this one is not as clear to me because black does have this idea of knight takes e4 next. So I'm not 100% sure about that one, but we definitely should be taking on c6 and grabbing this d6 pawn. That to me is extremely clear. Yeah, now Max like didn't allow that, so it's the idea is not there anymore. And if on a good day, yeah, what I was gonna say is if Max had played h6 and then king g8 and king h7, he might have made up for the fact that his his king that he did the mouse click and didn't get his king castled. So yeah, I think Max played this very well to get to this point because the fact that the position, notice that the pawns are very close. We have a very close structure, especially if we compare these pawns here. The fact that the position is very close means that the black king isn't as much danger as it would normally be since it didn't castle. Because when the position is closed, that means there's not going to be any open files to our opponent's king. So the black king might actually be fairly safe here. Knight there. Okay, I think that's a King's Indian move. I don't know what it's doing here exactly, except for getting this bishop developed, which might be reason enough. And I think Knight B5 here looks good because we have taken advantage of the discovery. I also think Knight A4, maybe Knight A4 is even better. Knight A4 just wins a piece, right? Knight A4 taking here. And how much time did Nathan spend on this move? He spent 5.2 seconds for that move. So that's not going to get it done. I guess what Nathan was worried about is Knight A4, then Knight takes here. So yeah, so it looks like, why did the game end? And Nathan just resigned. I wouldn't resign here if I was Nathan, because it looks like he's just down the exchange. So why are we giving up so easily? I don't understand. Yeah, another thing I recommend is sometimes most times kids, they resign way too late. But I've been spotting this kind of trend where they're giving up a little bit too early, and that's I think that's worse than giving up too late, because why give up, right? Like, I feel like it's still a double-edged position. So bishop d3. Yeah, I think he played too quickly this game. So I was gonna say, I think knight a4, knight takes, take, knight takes, either knight takes back or rook takes, and then I guess there is bishop takes here, but what I'm trying to say, I think Nathan just moved much too quickly here. Because I'm thinking like knight a4, knight takes, and then we could even play like, probably even just play something like queen e1. And yeah, that looks just completely winning for white, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure that this is just winning. They could play the knight back to c5, and then it's a little bit dicey, but I don't think so, because then we could just play knight takes c5, pawn takes, bishop takes with check, and this pass d pawn should be pretty strong. Either way, though, taking 5 seconds on this move seems a bit too early. And then like here, taking right away, like I think here we could just probably play something like this. Queen e1 now, okay. I don't really get queen e1. G4. G4 looks like a very aggressive move. I think we could have just played rook here and just keep building up the attack, right? There's, once again, now that it didn't start opening up, and the black king, it just looks very, very unsafe to me. G4. Yeah, I really don't like resigning here, because I think this is still a target, and like even if we just play something like knight f1, I don't think the game is over yet. It's definitely better for black here, but there's still a bunch of play here. Like we're only down the exchange, and if we count the pawns, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we are down 3 pawns and the exchange. And I guess maybe Nathan is thinking that you know, I want to get as many games in as possible to try to fight back. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't resign here, but I can't. I don't like completely disagree with his decision. So what's going on here? So we got 24 minutes. All right, who should we look at? Whose game should we look at? What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 12. Let's look at one of George and Eileen's games. Just I know they're not at the top of the standings, but I want to kind of see what's going on with their play. And then yeah, bishop c5, right? We're not asking ourselves the most important chess question. What was the point of our opponent's last move? What was their threat? Why did white move the knight to f3? And the reason is to take the pawn. And then bishop c5. And so this is the second biggest mistake you can make in chess, is not knowing the point of your own moves. So the point of knight f3 is to take the pawn. Your opponent didn't respond to that threat, so just taking the pawn is the way to do it. I think, and this goes for very strong players too. I think we all have a stage in our chess development where we think we know what to do, so we start playing a little bit too robotically, meaning we're not really looking at the position. We're just thinking, oh, get our piece developed, control the center, get our king safe. Those are general principles. Those aren't like robotic movements we should make like we're machines. Like we still want to look at the position. We still want to spot what's going on. Like here, this pawn is not protected. We have a knight attacking it. That's just a free center pawn. We're up a pawn. Our knight's on a good central square. Like that's all the analysis we really need to do. Knight c3 is not a bad move, but it's just we're not really looking at the position and making the moves that the position allows us to make. f6 just hangs the bishop. And we never play f6, so I don't get this move from Eileen. Like we gotta get our piece developed. I don't know. Well, like in the last class, I thought Eileen had an excellent class, but I don't understand why when we play the tournament games, it could be nervousness. That's perfectly understandable. But I don't understand why we make these moves that we never make during class. Like we never ever play f6 here. We always play knight f6. So I don't understand f6 at all. And I don't understand also, we could have just played bishop takes c4. Looks like a perfectly reasonable move to me. So it looks like George missed the opportunity to take the first time, but he spotted the second time, which is good. Yeah, we got to take back, right? We got to take back. Material's important. So, yeah, I feel like we talk about this stuff a lot in class, like almost too much. So I feel like the reason why it's still not sinking in up to this point is just we're not getting enough practice outside of class time. Maybe there's not like enough listening. Maybe I need to, maybe instead of talking so much, I need to let the kids like make the moves more than I am. I try my best to let them do that, but even more so. All right, so let's go. We haven't looked at many of Brian's games today, so it looks like Max won already. So that was a big game for the tournament standings. So what happened here? e4, knight c6. I've never seen Brian play the Nimzovich defense, so that's new. Okay, we played the Scotch. So Max and I have been working on the Scotch a lot during class time. So let's see, d6. So I believe the best move for white is, well, I don't know. I think d takes is fine. I know that black is supposed to take this. Oh, I lost the game? What? Okay, we got it back. Okay, cool. So yeah, what black is supposed to do is they're just supposed to take this pawn here. And then after knight takes d4, there's a couple of different options for black. They could play bishop c5. They could play knight f6. There's a lot of theory in the Scotch opening. So we have pawn sacrifice here. I don't like queen e7 at all. I think we're just supposed to take the knight here and then take this pawn. I believe that's what we can play. No, the main, I think we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take the pawn here. So we take the pawn, and then queen takes queen, rook takes queen, and the idea being that if the knight takes the pawn now, because we'd have 2 attackers and only 1 defender, then we have rook to d1 checkmate. And same thing, if they play bishop takes first, then we take back with the knight. Then if they play knight takes, we have rook to d1 mate. So I'm pretty sure the best move for Brian here would just be to take the pawn here. Okay, h6 I don't really get. I much prefer to see knight f6 here, but yeah, already I feel like black's in a bit of a tough position here. Okay, so that was our idea, h6 and g5. Okay, that idea makes sense. So I think the idea of bishop h5 is he wants to play g4, but I don't understand why you'd want to get in the way of your own pin. So we have the pin here. So yeah, this I don't fully get. Although it's kind of hard to suggest any real moves for black already. So I don't think this opening has gone particularly good. Maybe we could, I think the main idea, maybe we could play h5 and h4. That seems like a reasonable try. So I think that's what I would have done if I had black here. Beautiful back rank made for Max. Beautifully done. Yeah, that was nice. So I think, they're playing again this time. Okay. Yeah, I want to look at another game. Is Brian going to move? Ooh, Brian, what's he doing? I was worried he was going to give Max a forfeit victory, which not would have been that would have been a little generous at this stage in the tournament. So what's going on here? So we got somehow Nathan just sneaks up, but is Max going to run out of time this turn? I don't. This game between Max and Brian is a very important game. If Brian would have won the last round, he would have been pretty close to the lead. So I think he was on a winning streak. Although I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I'm always trying to think like the players who are kind of struggling in these tournaments. What can I do to help them play better? Because I mean, they haven't. I know they're younger, so it's not like that surprising. But when I see their games, I feel like I don't know. I feel like they could be playing better, to be perfectly honest, at after this many chess classes. So I'm always trying to think about what can I do to make sure that these lessons are sinking in a little bit better. Because yeah, I mean, the one thing I don't want is I don't want the kids to get discouraged and think that they're not good at chess because chess is something that just takes a lot of practice to start getting good at it. So I don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm not. This isn't like something I have a talent for because I don't think that's accurate. Um, so I do want to like give them some hints so that they can not hints. I want to like give them a way that they can implement what we're doing in class into their games, so that they really start showing the improvement that I know they're all capable of. So what games should we look at here? Let's look at Nathan and George. I feel like George will put up a good game here. Okay. Yeah, and this is exactly what we want. Like you see how Nathan played c4 here. So this is perfect. Whenever we push the pawn in front of our queen, we want to push our c pawn and try to put an additional attacker on the d5 square here. And then yeah, knight f6 isn't the most common move. The best move is e6. The problem with knight f6 is that we're supposed to just take here, and then after a knight takes, we just play e4, picking up a tempo. And this position is known to be quite good for white. Okay, bishop d7 is an uncommon move. Probably there's a couple options. We could just play like bishop e7. I think knight here, knight b to d7 is possible. c6 going to a Slav defense is possible. Bishop d7 is an unusual move. So I'm curious what George's idea is here. No. So here we're just moving the bishop twice. And once again, we're getting in front of our c-pawn, which is going to make our life very uncomfortable here. So I think the best move is just e3 for white here. Yeah, protect the pawn on c4 and then opening up this diagonal so our queen is protecting our knight. Yeah, I really like a3 with the idea of b4, b5 is coming. This also looks reasonable. No, so now we're just giving away material. So we did get 2 pawns for the piece, but it's just not going to be enough. Now we just give away our knight. And somehow, all right, so we spotted that. So now we're just, yeah, nice job by, what was that, a mouse slip? I guess we had a mouse slip by Nathan there. Should definitely just take the bishop. Well, get your king save, though. Get your king save. When you're up material, the last thing you want is for a, yeah, I'll just castle here. Just get your king save. I don't know if it's gonna like come back to haunt Nathan in this game. I don't think it will, but yeah, I'd really like to see Nathan get his king safe here. Maybe I'm the one that's being overly cautious. Like maybe Nathan realized his king wasn't in any danger, but I would like to see the king get safe. So what can we play here? Do we have any tactic? There's not even a good discovered check here, is there? So that's why Nathan is thinking for so long, because he wants to come up with a cool discovery check, but he knows there's not really a good one in store. Probably should just play like a5 though and go get a queen. Because actually the thing that this knight does very well is it stops the black king from moving away to the g file. So yeah, just push the pawn here should be fine. Probably here we should play knight b6 just to guard the queening square. So I think knight b6 and then just, yeah, go push the pawn. No, see right there I don't understand because we wanna we want to force the king away from the queenie square. So if I was playing white here, I just put the rook anywhere on the c file, probably c3 because it's protected by the pawn. This way we cut the king off from ever going over to the c file. When we play this check, like sometimes kids get actually, and strong players just they think that any check is a good check. The point of chess isn't to just give checks; it's to give a checkmate. So this move really doesn't strike me as correct. So like now we hung our knight. So I don't understand why we didn't just take the knight. And this is kind of how you spoil a winning position. Like you just start giving away. You feel like you can give away more pieces than you actually can. So I was just taking the knight here, and I think I think that. I mean, white's still winning because they have the two connected passed pawns, but we just have a ton of work to do again, and we didn't need to allow any of this as from the white side. Yeah, now we should probably play something, I don't know, like rook b3 and then a7 and then rook back to b8. Something like that looks good. Also, we can play rook c1. Okay, that's fine. Also, rook c1 with the idea of a7 looks quite good though as well. So now we should play a7. Rook b7 check's also fine. Yeah, either move is fine. And then, yeah, the next move that Nathan should play, should definitely play rook c1 next, give a check, and then push the pawn to a7. Because the point is you want to get the king away, yeah, as far away from the queenie square as possible. Yeah, so now just a7 is fine. That move I don't get. Yeah, so this we don't need to be offering a draw here. Like we're clearly losing, so offering a draw here doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I think this is a pattern that Nathan like we have the rook. All right, yeah, that's not the. This is something I might talk about the students about. Like when you're in a losing position, just offering a draw every time is not very good etiquette. But yeah, so here we should just push the pawn to a7. Yeah, these checks are just do nothing. Like we should just capture this pawn and then play the rook to the back rank. Yeah, please stop offering that. Well, he probably doesn't know any better, George, but we shouldn't be making all these draw offers. Yeah, now we have ideas of taking and giving a checkmate. Actually, well, there's a checkmate and one that we missed here. That's one of the reasons why we shouldn't move so quick. We're not. The point of chess is, especially at this part of development, you want to like really try to find these patterns, and by moving so quickly, I feel like we miss these opportunities to find these like it's a really nice pattern to know that it's a really nice pattern to know that having these two pawns here takes away all these three escape squares. So it's sort of like a form. It is a form of a back rank checkmate. So it looks like so what's going on with who's Nathan playing? Who's Josiah playing? So we have Josiah versus Brian here. And what's going on with Max? So Max is on a 5-game winning streak, and if he wins this one, he's going to get a big bonus. So the tournaments are definitely getting more competitive, which is awesome to see. So it looks like we have our big guns doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, all the middle school players. I think they're in high school now, a couple of them. So they're definitely flexing their muscles here. One thing is I hope they don't get too complacent that since they're winning these tournaments that they don't have room to improve, because they all have a ton of room to improve still. So yeah, we need to play d4 for white here. That's the only real option. If we don't play d4 here, we're just losing. So d4 looks like the only move to me. Let's see if Brian can find it. No, queen e2 is terrible, right? Because we don't queen's not a good defender of this pawn at all. Just knight takes, and we're just completely winning. No, what's this? No, come on, this is not a defender of this pawn. Oh, wow, this is even worse. Now we just have knight takes f2 forking. Okay, so I think the kids are getting tired or something, because We just missed. We're playing too quickly. Like this is an important game for the tournament standings. Um, what I feel like might happen here, I feel like Brian's going to play knight d5, queen g6, and then knight e7, forking the king and the queen here. That's my feeling of what might happen in this position, but we'll see. But yeah, we're missing so many good moves here. It's kind of a bit disappointing that we're playing so quickly and we're missing all these good options here. And I feel like Josiah's missed the benefit of having this bishop on c5 in like 3 games now. So that's what I'm going to talk about to Josiah. I think he switched to the Wednesday class from Sunday. Yeah, but okay, so knight takes, bishop takes. I don't know what's going on here, but knight takes f2 looked fantastic to me. All right, now we're going to see queen g6 and knight e7. So this is what I was. All right, so maybe we could throw in bishop takes check first. Okay. We have knight takes c7 if we want it. Okay, bishop there is fine, and then knight takes c7 next turn looks good. Yeah, this has been a good tournament overall. That's hard to assess. I definitely feel like the games are still improving, but there are some things that we worked a lot in class time that I really wish would start sinking in a little bit more. Yeah, let's just move h4 because he's giving his opponent a chance to go wrong, which I'm always a fan of. It's not. Yeah, but I don't understand. What does that check do? Yeah, I don't get this because the check doesn't do anything. Like the knight is misplaced on e7. Like it's just a check, but it's not a good check because what are we accomplishing? I think we should have gone for f3 and then g4 ideas. I believe that would have been a very tough sequence of moves for black to deal with. I believe. But yeah, this check does absolutely nothing because we should have just taken the pawn on c7. What happened is now we allowed this queen to swing over potentially. Now we miss knight takes f2. So yeah, we're just missing so much here this game. And that's what I'm saying. It's very hard for me to assess their play because I kind of see I see these things at like a higher level. If I should. But I do feel like they could be playing better. So, ooh, mate and one. Oh, we missed the mate and one because we moved too fast. Oh no, Josiah, that was a big game. Oh, that was a big game for Josiah. Just moving too fast. We didn't ask the question, what's our opponent's last move? Here we had a couple options. We could have played f6. The simplest option was just been a bishop that takes f5 and then pick up this piece afterwards. And notice that we missed it because we moved instantly. It was like instant. Our opponent moved. We didn't say what was their idea. We just said we're going to take their bishop, and we missed this checkmate. So very nice for Brian for keep fighting and looking for ideas in a bad position. But this is definitely something we could be working on. All right, so here we have a tie for first between Max and Nathan. So Nathan's playing against Eileen, and Max is playing against Brian. And it looks like that everyone else quit the tournament. We have Josiah and George. Yeah, that was a big game for Josiah. He definitely could have been he could have won this tournament. If he would have won that game, he would have been in the lead. And yeah, he would have had as good a chance as anyone to win. What happened in this opening? Yeah, for some reason Nathan missed queen takes here. So I think the kids must be getting tired. But this is something we talked about a bunch too. Take here, attack the king, attack the rook. So yeah, we're just missing a bunch of stuff here. I think Nathan's just going for a checkmate quickly, but he should play the position, right? He shouldn't just think I'm gonna just crush Eileen here. He should be playing position. Yeah, he should be playing. He should be playing a little better than this. So h6 just hangs a piece. Right here we have 2 attackers and only 1 defender. So it looks to me like we have to bring the bishop back to e7 to defend the knight again. Yeah, like that happened the next move. So if Eileen would have played bishop e7 first, then she would have been fine. Then knight d4 might be coming. There's all kinds of ideas for black. So yeah, it looks like Nathan's just going for a quick victory. So do we have a 3-way tie for first place? So it looks like Nathan has in first on tiebreaker. So what's going to happen? So because Eileen could just basically everyone can just stall here. So it's kind of who knows what's going to happen. And then is Josiah going to get another game here? Or is that it? I'm proud of Eileen for keep fighting. That's one thing about Eileen. She just keeps trying her best, and I respect that a ton. So I always like that she comes, no matter what happened in the last game, she comes for the next game and does her best. It'd be nice to see more girls in the tournament though, because we have a class of 4 girls, and we have only 1 of them playing in the tournament. So I don't know. I wish. I might be. I don't know. I might be speculating here, but it might be the girls don't like to compete in these tournaments as much. But I don't know. I really don't know. I probably shouldn't say that because I have no idea if that's true or not. But all I can say is it does seem like we get less turnout from the girl players, even though we have I think we just have like 1 or 2 fewer girls in the chess class at the moment than boys. So it would be nice if everyone played in the tournament, of course. And then here we have so here we have knight d4. Knight d4 would have been a very strong move from Eileen. Knight d4 forking the queen and the bishop. And there's nowhere for the queen to move to protect the bishop here, so that would have just been a free piece for black. So yeah, that's the thing about chess. There's no one like tapping on the shoulder saying like, hey, this is the best move. You really got to be focused. You got to concentrate. And you kind of see like where you can pick up these tempos. So knight d4 would have been a really, really nice move here. It's good to see Josiah at the top because I always feel like Josiah doesn't get credit. He's such a good player, and he's only I feel like he's just like a few tweaks away from being like an excellent chess player. So I really do feel like he belongs amongst the top players that we have. So I really do. I really am happy that he's that he's performing this well. So what's going on? We have Max and Brian here. So we have to play rook g8 here, check. What's going on here? It's a crazy position. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that move. So, nope, mate in 1. Max is going to win now. Max is going to win. Max is going to win the tournament. Oh, he won with like 1 second to go. Brian could have just stalled. Wow. Wow. Nice tournament. Wow, what an exciting. Like, did he literally win with like 1 second left on the clock in the whole tournament? Yeah, like here we had to play rook to g8 if we were Brian. And the cool thing about rook to g8 is that we could have played rook g7. So wow, what an exciting tournament though. So basically it came down to what was it, like 1 second? Wow, that was pretty amazing tournament. I can just imagine how happy Max is right now. He must be ecstatic. So yeah, congrats to Max. Congrats to everyone who played in the tournament. I hope you guys had fun. I hope these videos are instructional. I think this one was good. I wasn't really sidetracked with any other stuff to deal with during the tournament. There's not nearly as much. I'd like to see more players play. But yeah, I thought everyone had a good tournament. Hope everyone enjoyed playing, and hope there's a lot of questions for class because there's definitely a lot of things that we need to work on still. Anyway, thank you again, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, and thanks for coming on and playing. All right, bye.